All right, all right. I haven't even made sure I'm freaking connected. All right, looks like I'm on. I don't do live streams a whole ton, but hey, everybody. So something, I guess I'll let a few people trickle on, but just for heads up, it's kind of interesting how this candle. So I kept saying it's probably going to get rejected by the 55, which is what this is drawn in my Buttcoin video. And you want to wait for a rejection and a candle closure below, but it made a definitive closure below. So, I mean, it could be a mini bear, like an extra bear trap, but at this point, it's looking more likely it's going to accelerate down. It's looking pretty bad. I don't want to lie, folks. So if there's anybody out there on leverage, you probably want to wait for maybe a mini bounce on, and get out of your positions, unless you're in shorts. But any long shorts positions, you wouldn't want to get out. But long positions on that, so just be really careful, because I know there might be a lot of people trying to long 60K Bitcoin way underwater right now, or something like that. But don't try to do that, because that hour candle closure after a rejection of the 55, which is exactly what I anticipated. Is it a great guess? Not really. It's just how price moves. It's the first thing right there. It wasn't really that hard of a guess. It's just a very probable scenario if in the event that Bitcoin tanks. So just knowing how price moves like an animal. That's why I always stress you need to know how price moves. Even if you don't trade, it's going to help even hodlers for when you should pick up more Trias or pick up more Veracity, whatever, So all crypto technically moves the same except for XRP. That's kind of a base rule. XRP is in its own little world, or big world, or whatever you want to call it. Not in a bad way. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't do a lot of live chats on YouTube, but I thought since it's tanking, this might be an okay opportunity after I alerted my community that acceleration to the downside is probably going to happen here. So, I mean, most of the people who follow me are more into altcoins, but right now, I mean, really the only thing to look at is Bitcoin, unless you're looking to pick up more of your altcoins with capital on the side or Tether. So, that might be useful to look at throughout this, but I might have to be kind of careful for YouTube live stuff, because you're not you're not necessarily in the community, and I can't necessarily front run signals that I might have already given to my community. So I'm not for sure how I'm going to navigate those waters, particularly if it's like a community coin. But if it's something that I know that a lot of folks in my community haven't really gotten into, like Matic, okay, I can give you exact levels, exactly what I'm thinking for something like that, because not a ton of folks who are in my community particularly are heavily invested in large cap coins. But even if they were, I mean, people on this call couldn't change the price action of that. So there would be exceptions to that. But if you want some like things on IDEA or Trias or whatever, then I probably will have to skate around the idea to some degree, give you general things to look at. So just a kind of a forewarning there. $12 Trias. Yeah, that. Oh, is it what it is now? Is Trias at 12 now? $12. Would that be about the weekly 21? Yeah, $12 Trias would be the weekly 21. It's a pretty logical spot. It could, but really, I mean, even if Bitcoin went to 50K, this line might hold up. It might hold up. I don't even know what kind of line that is. Where am I getting? Oh, from this wick here. Which is, a wick below would be $12. So a wick below that line would be $12. So it might wick to the weekly 21. I'm not really for sure. It easily could, but it's definitely on its way down there. That's a pretty good guess. That's a pretty darn good guess. KDA, yeah, folks, KDA's run it's done for a while. Even without Bitcoin going down. Like, I know YouTubers are covering it and all that stuff, but that's when it's done. And I already so I wish I could, honestly, I might try to go find that video. I had a few members in this when it was right here. And so I can actually say this because I've already told my community this very specifically. When it was about right here correcting, that person wanted to know, hey, is that done? Because it went over our channels here. Usually that's about a last push, not necessarily before it done, but for consolidation, the run is done, right? Good time to take profits, move into something else that might move up so you can then move it back into here after taking profits. And I said, well, it could be done now, but I could see one more push up and then form out something to that effect, right? But I literally said it could have one more push up. I could see it 50-50, but so the chance of that being the last push for quite a while, and I'm talking until next calendar year, it's pretty high. So I would be very, very surprised. Well, I don't know if I'd say very, very, but I would be very surprised if KDA were to get above that 2850 mark before the new year. I really think there's a significant amount of consolidation. And again, I'm not saying tanking, but it's going to probably consolidate. Like so, and it might do it so long, this is my specific guess. I don't necessarily am calling for like a 50% dip, although if it did do that, it could potentially break highs earlier. So gotta get down to get up, but it looks like it's going to consolidate kind of so long, maybe dip below a few times, that it goes specifically below that trading channel. Let me make these a little bolder so you can see them. It's gonna move out of there. So if I can move this out of the way, it's gonna move completely out of go side. I think it's gonna go sideways long enough to go outside of this to the right direction. So there are a lot of coins that have done that. And I'm not just saying that because it's just a random guess. It is not a random guess. It's simply how crypto moves. And honestly, it's already done it. Went up here, it moved all the way out of it. Got, couldn't get back into it, moved out of it, moved, and then broke back in, broke above, but it's gonna move out of it. And it might move significantly out of it, as in, until next year, like this. Watch. Like that's about January 1st. That's honestly about what my guess would be, something to that effect. So here's another coin that's done that. Hopefully you can see my lines on there. So something to that effect. So OpenOcean had a very aggressive run, squeaked out a higher high, made a lower high, and went sideways all the way out. I think that's what KDA is about ready to do. Mover, same thing. That is I guess what you can consider a community coin for sure. I mean, my community's geeked out about this, but it had a really hot run, and it's moved sideways out of the. So honestly, so I already added origin line. So these ones didn't exist. So not only did it move out of it, had another pump, but it moved out of it again. So this has been a really long consolidation. And for just general relativity purposes, how long? So let's say from that high to now, that's 73 days. And that would put KDA way past not way, but that'd be January, like January 20th or something like that. Closer to February 1st. So just, you know, I'm not out sounding any alarms on KDA, but I would not expect all-time highs to happen for quite a while. Just because YouTubers talk about it, like, you have to realize that that is more, it's usually a better sell signal than anything. You know, remember all that. So I don't know how many people here are new or when crypto kind of fell upon my channel in April when I was new to this. I created clickbaity type of titles, or I talked about 𝐿 and so it wasn't technically clickbait because I did talk about it, but I made those videos not to project 𝐿, but to battle all of the YouTubers saying the burnonomics and all this burning, like we're burning, it's going to the moon, right? And it's what brought people into, it's essentially the biggest proponent of the first wave of retail. I mean, 𝐿 was a big deal, and I just knew it was too hot. It was YouTube hyped. That's when you want to get out, and I was right. And so I'm kind of trying to do the same here. So, but this didn't get it to nearly the same effect. Even though on a percentage basis, result wise, maybe even more, I really don't know how big this run is, but yeah, that's pretty massive, folks. I mean, if you follow my rules of thumb, if you do over 1,000% correction, you need a 70% correction, period. And that would come perfectly to this, to that structure. And you could hit an origin line, and that all could happen within a couple of weeks. Do I think that's what's going to happen? Probably not. I think it might consolidate sideways. This is a healthy enough of a run. So like BPRO's run went like this. BPRO went boom, 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 like way more aggressive. So this is honestly for an 75 or a 75, so 7,400% run. It really is pretty healthy, but you can tell that was the last push. This is when YouTube started talking about it. It broke above its upper channel. This is clearly YouTube. You need to be able to identify this stuff. It's not going to keep going up. It's not. It's extremely unlikely. So be very careful about that. So very careful. All right. And I'm not saying sell all of your KDA. I actually, in a bull run, I'm against, 100 bagging cryptos, but that's why I have 10 bag theory, 20 bag theory, all that kind of stuff, type of strategies. So I'll have to keep that a little vague here on YouTube, but one of my true opinions on what I would do with that on a percentage basis. Yeah, that's what we got for there. All right. Polk 90. Yeah, Polk might hit 90 cents. Yeah, so be very careful though, like with KDA, because it, like per my rule, it either, so it might not go 70% down, which honestly is a top 3 most probable for this run. It really is at this point. It truly is. So you have to swallow that as a fact. Like, I mean, well, a fact that it's highly probable. So I think that should be a correct statement enough on that. So, but it could also only go like 40% down and consolidate until next calendar year, literally. All right. Somebody said, yeah, well, so yeah, let's go to Polk. And again, I'm going to have to be careful with Polk here because this is like one of the most highly regarded community coins that we have. We all like this one a lot. Yeah, 90 cents would be a wick past this gray line. That makes sense. And that looks like I drew in the daily 200, so it just tagged the daily 200, come back up. Yeah, that's honestly a pretty good analysis. Whoever said that, wick down, come back up, land on this. That's probably about right. With this velocity down, it doesn't look like it's going to hold the dollar. It doesn't look like it's going to hold the dollar line. But let's measure, like how normal is that? 400% run. So you probably need about a 45% move down. Already got it. But Bitcoin's heading down with it. So it's going to essentially have a double correction, which is what happened to BPRO, right? So BPRO went up to 4 cents. It was very, very likely going to bottom out just under a penny. But then Wyckoff stuff happened, so it just had the super unfortunate event of being an early bloomer in the bull run in February, therefore an early correction, and then the Bitcoin correction happened and it double corrected. So that's, but honestly, for like 1.5 corrections here right now, it still looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. But yeah, that was a good guess. Whoever said that, I would say what happens probably will not be far off from that guess here in the chat. Yeah, Proton's been another one that's so when people leave those comments on my YouTube about I left them because it didn't look like bots, but there are a lot of bots promoting coins, and I don't know if you can all tell, like when you leave a comment, sometimes it won't appear because I have a I think this should be an accurate statement. I have the best spam wall out of any crypto YouTuber like in America who speaks English. I can't vouch for all the Japanese and Spanish speaking ones, but so there are fewer scammers on my walls. So, but it also blocks some of your stuff. So a lot of the XPR stuff, I did accept them. You know, I approved of those comments that got blocked or whatever, because not that I'm picking up XPR as a spam blocker word, but some of the other things in there. So I'm not blocking those things. So it looks like it's true, like people interest in this, but this chart's really bad. Maybe I should go to a different chart. Maybe that's not the whole chart. There's no way the chart looks like that if people are talking about it. And if so, then there's something really concerning. Where should I go? There we go. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, it really looks a lot like the MTV chart. It just has a bigger middle of the W, essentially. So MTV's chart went like that. So it's the same. It's the same chart, just with a more aggressive pump in the middle here. That's honestly insane. I guess for the time frame. So that was the bull run pop. So I guess that's not quite insane. So it's technically breaking daily and weekly all-time highs. So this is, I mean, so my rule of thumb, if it's over 1,000%, you need a 70% correction. This could be an exception to it because it is bouncing off lows and it's the second time it's happened. So it might not need a full 70, but I bet that might fall around here. Yeah. So if it did correct in a normal fashion, which don't be surprised if it does, people who hold this, all I'm saying is I know how crypto moves. What I'm showing you is very probable. Am I saying that I guarantee this is where it's going down to, therefore you should be scared and sell everything? I'm not saying that. But I am saying that I know how crypto moves pretty well, especially altcoins. So this, I mean, coming down, so that meets my percentage basis, right? If over 1,000%, 70% move down whenever you correct, that happens to land exactly on a structural basis, what would make sense as well. So it's not a coincidence. It isn't a coincidence. So how much farther down will that be from current price? That's another 35 to 40% from current price. And you already had a 30% fall, roughly. Yeah, you already had 45% fall. You could have 35% more. And it might be the most probable scenario. Is it over 50% likely? No, I'm not saying that. But let's say it's 35% likely that it happens. There's no other one scenario that is more than 35% likely, is what I'm saying. But it does have a strong chance. I mean, this could hold it up. Let me actually look at like the weekly candle. Between a weekly wick and a weekly candle body up here, that could hold it up. That, like, crypto does have the habit of really grinding out time if you have something like this between a wick. So this is like, you know, for all coins that have something where it turns on a dime, it makes it just that much more powerful in the future, whether it turns on a dime from the downside and then falls below in the future. And when it comes back up, turning on a dime, that's huge resistance, right? So it can be both ways. Absolutely. But this time it got above it. So coming back below, this could offer some pretty strong support. So that would be, I mean, honestly, this coin is a pretty good candidate for grinding out a sideways movement instead of falling 70%, this is a pretty good candidate for that, just simply because of this. It did turn on a dime and essentially technically a macro move. I would say mid macro move for that. I guess the macro move is still for, like, all of this is one macro move technically. So, you know, either low end target of 28.36 or somewhere close to 21.50. So a little bit of wiggle room on each side of 21.50 is the middle of this box. And I think a wick down to this candle body here, somewhere around 28.60 is your best chance of good defense. But you can definitely expect that to happen. Now, that is a probability. That is a probability. 28, like as an over 50% chance. Yeah, 28.50 is over a 50% chance of happening. And that'd be a good pickup. But that means that also have a strong chance of being a great pickup. So, yeah, this one's really highly talked about. I don't know anything about it, but the chart, honestly, it looks pretty good. You flew past all-time highs. You're kind of consolidating on it, so you're probably going to spend more time here. And maybe with one scare down like this and then come back up, then move up here, then bust out. Would it take that long? No, because that's a whole year from now, so it'll look a lot tighter. I'm on the weekly chart. So let me go to more like the 12-hour chart here and draw that. No, that's already February. Yeah, it'll be also next year before it breaks that high. So don't expect all-time highs on that till next year. Probably late January. But it is a good chart. I won't lie about that. It looks not bad. I mean, clearly it looks like a very volatile crypto coin, right? But that's why we're out here, because volatility equals profitability, and hyper volatility equals hyper profitability, and the hyper profitability is why most people are in crypto to begin with. All right, so let's keep rolling here. Wrong chart. XPR. Oh, that's versus KRW. Shit. Well, son of a bitch. It has futures? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it looks about the same. All that analysis is the same. I got lucky there because a lot of times the charts are totally different. No, but so price wise though, all I got to do is redo the price levels. That wick to that candle body could hold it up, so that would mean 22.40. 0.02, so 2 cents, 2.24 cents is a probability, I would say. 2.24 cents. I think it will hit the bottom of that. With over a 50% chance. It's very likely gonna hit that candle body. Unless there might be one way it doesn't. It's only, yeah, it's yeah, it's a probability that it hits that. So what did I say? 2.24? Yeah, 2.24 cents. And then your low end target, you just measure down from the wick high down 70%. Maybe give it like 65 if it hits, yeah, probably 67%, somewhere like there. Yeah, right there at 1.75 cents. So you put another box here. $1.75 roughly with some wiggle room. That would be your low end. It kind of looks like it won't hit that. Just looks like there's a little too much excitement and buyers will just step in before. So yeah, that's what we got for XPR. Well, that says XPR USDT, so I'm going to stick with that one. Yeah, but they're still the same. It's still the same shape. So just different numbers. So there you go. I got the right numbers. But the analysis in terms of structural and percentage wise, still all the same. Looks like a W. All right. XCAD. I don't know what that is. Well, I've looked at it before and I said it's going to bust out when it breaks above the trend line. And that is precisely what happened. Wow, it's been a while since I looked at this chart. That is pretty aggressive. And it moved right when Bitcoin started doing its thing. So that's a mid-large move. I would say it has a probability of wicking at least to these wick highs here. So I'll connect them. That would be my target. And it roughly aligns with my base rule. Like if you do a 700% run, you probably need to correct 55%. That only gives it about 46%, but that might be enough. If it does do the 50%, it's simply going to hit the top of this the structure here. So it'll hit that line. But it might only be on a wick, and it might hit it on a wick twice. So I would do $4 and $4.05 for my low end target, but more reasonable target somewhere close to $4.68. It's almost definitely going to hit the top of that box though. $4.85. It would be a very, very, very high statistical probability it hits that. So don't just think it's going to bounce like right now, particularly with Bitcoin doing what it's doing. But that's a pretty cool chart. There aren't many charts that look like that in crypto. Because it's so, yeah, it's because it started in July or in June. So I guess that's why its start point was a little weird. That's really good performance though. I mean, born right during Wyckoff, only needed how much to like regroup itself? 90 days. And then do a 700% run. I mean, that's pretty solid. And if this is not a gamer coin or a metaverse coin or an NFT type related coin, if it's not one of those, that speaks even more volumes because that means it's not within the flavor of the month and it's not just hype. I don't know what this is, but I don't know anything about it. But if it's not one of those three and it's still done this, that speaks like whatever it's doing, it's really good stuff. But if it is one of those three, then it's just the right type of coin to have per Pumponomics because, I personally try to only buy altcoins when I think other people have a reason to buy it. So like, even if that reason's stupid and I think it's way overvalued, if I think people have a lot of people have a strong reason to buy it, I'll pick it up to, try to create profit with it. So I'm not dissing those coins and flavor of the month stuff. It's a good play. It's a good play to get flavor of the month coins you don't even get two shits about. But yeah, the chart looks kind of impressive, actually. Nice consolidation up here. Yeah, I mean, without Bitcoin coming down, it probably wasn't done. I think it would have charged up quite a bit higher, actually. But you got to get down and get up. This consolidation, whatever happens here, it'll allow it for that next push over this high. It has the likelihood of being higher than it would have been had it only, had Bitcoin not fallen and just kept charging up. So in the end, this will be a good thing for it. A little relaxation. It's like taking a nap, taking a snack before going to the gym, essentially. It's a cool chart. There aren't many that look like that. I like it. All right, so Crow. Well, selling this is pretty easy. If it spikes way over that trend line, sell. And you could probably just keep doing that. Like literally for months. And if it ever gets weak enough to where it doesn't get up there anymore, just try to make it a channel. The tilted trading channel. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it held up on that line. It's pretty healthy price movement. But I think that's a bigger cap coin, so bigger cap coins typically don't do stupid stuff like 700% real fast. So, which is why I don't play too heavily with large cap coins on spot trade, because the gains are just so much smaller than alt caps on average. I could see it basing here as well. Somewhere around 46 cents. But it might try holding the line closer to 48.5 cents. So between 48.5 and 46, I would guess that's where it's going to bottom out. It looks like it doesn't want to correct very much. That's really healthy price movement, to be honest. It looks good. But if you just connect the top stuff and you hold this and you want to accumulate, just don't sell all your bags, but next time it wicks far above, you can 20 bag it, which means of this Pokemon card, you sell 20% of them, then hold Pokemon Tether cards. And then when it hits, just make a, you don't even have to buy back. Your buyback strategy doesn't have to be exact, and neither does your sell strategy. Just know it's somewhere above, buy it back somewhere below. That's a reasonable percent. It like decrease, say 18% decrease. Just put your so from wherever you sell it, when your limit buys 18% lower, and now you have more crypto. It'll probably hit whenever that happens. With the strong probability that you bought back too early, but sometimes for this type of stuff, I just try to get 20% out of it. I don't care how much lower it goes. Unless Bitcoin looks like it's going to tank, then I will delete that limit buy order and wait for it to go a whole lot lower, so I buy back more, so I actually accumulated more of that asset. But yeah, this honestly, this looks like a fun coin to trade. This is honestly one of the nicest tilted ranges that I've seen in that I can actually ever remember seeing. I might get into this coin just to trade it. This is beautiful, actually. It's almost perfect. That's almost too perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that chart. That's a really good one to buy. Yeah, so if it comes back down to this, I actually might. I would be interested in buying it down here. I don't know if I would be able to get it down there. It might not hit there for a while, but the next time it does wick below that bottom line in months' time or whatever, I'd probably try to pick it up. Unless it does a screamer first. If it did a screamer first, then I would expect it to essentially come down so low or go sideways so long that I have to make another origin line down because it moves sideways. But this is honestly a beautiful, beautiful trading range. It's almost too good. So it looks like institutions have interested in this. It looks like bigger players are trading this. That's probably why it looks so nice. Because it's not so affected by people who don't know anything about charts just throwing $3,000 at it right here. Like, imagine being the person who is buying here and, like, probably one person couldn't make that wick, but you know what I'm talking about, like buying up here. When he could have just drawn a line and realized, wait, this is when you want to sell. Oh, bummer. Sucks to be those people. All right. But I was one of those people too. I'm not saying like I've always been perfect. I've lost so much money in crypto, from the end of probably early throughout 2018, particularly during that bear market. Not just from writing stuff down, but to try to learn how to trade. I tried learning in a bear market, and then it got even harder during the choppiness of 2020. 2020 was insanely difficult. It was, but it's good. The times that I was learning, it was a bear market mixed with an incredibly hard, very volatile range, very huge range. And so at least I learned in the hardest conditions. It's like military training. If you're going to go to a swamp area, well, shit, the military is going to ship your ass somewhere in the United States where it's swampy, down in the Everglades or Alabama or something, or Louisiana. You're going to train in nasty ass like places, right? Even worse than where you're going. So that's kind of what happened to me. All right, so we got some super chats rolling in. Kylan Network KYL. And if there's a lot of delay on those, I apologize. So it's only versus wrapped tether. So this essentially had a double correction too and hasn't been able to recover. Because had Wyckoff stuff not happened, this is normal for beginning like coins that come out, or even this, and then come up. But that's about right. So if you really believe in whatever this project's doing, you could view this, and it might not be a bad way to view it. So because of the timing of this, and it had a double correction, if you really think that this coin's going to pick up, get whatever adoption, have a finished product to where YouTubers might talk about it in the near future, therefore retail people might want to buy it. So you need to be thinking about this. It doesn't matter how it's going to change the world. You think whatever coin is. All you really should care about is when a bunch of people newer than me come in, are they going to buy this? Right? So if you think that about the project, and based on the idea that when it came out, it was like the perfect storm of crap, right, for this coin, and it did, like, the founders of this coin didn't know that. It could be on incredible sale right now. I mean, price without Wyckoff might be way up here, like that, like over a penny. And I'm not, potentially over a penny, like, somewhere close to half a penny to a penny, somewhere around there, closer to a penny for sure. Because from here to a penny, how much would that be? Yeah, that's only 1,000%. Yeah, 13%. A lot of coins have done that. So and a lot of my community has picked up on the idea that, wait, this is an NFT or a gamer coin that came out. Like, a lot of people just hunt for that shit, right? They hunt for coins specifically that came out March, April, that do have the flavor of the month potential to be picked up by YouTube, to be bought by retailers, because it has that's why I call Pumponomics. And it is just, it's that those people feel so lucky to even have the like chance to buy it down here, because technically it quote unquote should be up here. So yeah, I mean, that could be a hell of a buy. I don't know anything about it though, but I do know that a lot of my community members specifically are looking for coins that do have the flavor of the month, that did come out roughly March, April. That is honestly a pretty good strategy. One way that could go wrong is that oftentimes the strong stay strong and the weak stay weak, but you would be making a bet against that, which is not an unreasonable bet, that, hey, once its true colors can be shown based off the bad timing, then it really will fly. So you gotta think about it that way. But and I like those types of bets. I do. That, like, I would, this is the opposite of chasing candles. So yeah, I think I'm glad somebody, brought up a coin like this. Is it bullish? No. But could you be buying a coin that's on an amazing discount? I don't know the fundamentals. I really don't know, but it has the chance of being one of those, is what I'm saying. All right. So, and it just wicked above its, yeah. So you're rolling into a potential weekly squeeze play too. I want to see how big of a market cap this is. I actually might be interested in getting some of this. All right. And there's another super chat I'll get to real quick. Hold on a second though. Oh yeah, no. I don't trade on the swap. I don't trade swap coins. So I personally wouldn't be interested in this, but so it's at 50 million cap. I think it could be to all-time highs by March. Not much earlier, though. If it went super crazy aggressive, well, you're still going to get the effect of New Year's dip, consolidate, then super aggressive. You could be up by late February or early April. So between those times on the y-axis, it could get up in February. So between February and April is where it should get above all-time highs of a penny. That would be my specific guess. All right. But who knows? I mean, if something crazy happens, like a massive short squeeze on Bitcoin, because people, let's say, are shorting both, so two different groups of people or the same group. So let's say Bitcoin gets close to 100K end of year, which honestly at this point is pretty unlikely. But let's say it does. Short squeeze happens because of 100K, but then the new year happens like just after, and people are adding to their shorts, potentially already underwater on Bitcoin, right? Because they're shorting the time axis. They're betting on a short. They're doing shorts because New Year's dips almost always, actually they've happened 100% of times. So then another short squeeze, which could, by the end of the year, technically, if that were to happen, this coin would probably also hit a penny if that is what played out. So it does have a chance, but it would absolutely, like, hitting all-time highs before the end of the year, going up to a penny, which should honestly be a freaking massive run. Yeah. So that'd be a 11.5x run, which is possible, but that's the only condition under which that's possible, I would assume. All right. Let's see here. I can't stream for very long today. Hold on. Nimic. This is a good buy. I would honestly be interested in buying something like this. This is one of my favorite types of buys. So let me take off the blue line. Even though those aren't on there, I just want to take it. All right. So it had a weekly squeeze play. So a bullish cross when the red goes above the yellow, right? That's like really good. It typically creates pretty powerful explosions. And either you get squeezed, so price gets squeezed like a soda bottle, squeeze, 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 shake, 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 kablam, or you bust above it and come back and test it and then consolidate and then go. And so it looks like it's actually even better buy because Bitcoin's pulling it down, it's doing I think it did front run. So this is called a front run. So squeeze plays happen in two ways. It gets a front run retest, or it gets a technical squeeze where price literally, the candle bodies for the most part are in that trapped in here, and then it pops out, right? But squeeze plays can't happen with a front run retest. So it had a front run retest, consolidation, ready to go, and then Bitcoin pulls down, double retest. Like, this is honestly a really, this is the type of stuff that I look for when I try to hunt for good pickups. That this is honestly about as, I guess this is, it did retest it. It front ran it, retested it, and then consolidated up high. And this probably never would have happened without Bitcoin dropping. So honestly, when Bitcoin gets confident, this will snap right back up and then continue. So this is a really, really good pickup structurally. I know nothing about the project, but I love buying at that formation. Like a second retest of a weekly squeeze play, hell yes. And that's real. It's not common to happen because usually they just take off and they don't come back down to test anywhere close to where it originally crossed. And here, I mean, what percentage away? Yeah, it's only 20. It's 20% away. Like, that's a very fortunate situation for people who wanted to pick up more of that, or to get in a coin. That's a good pickup. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that kind of stuff. So this is a good one. Whoever, let's see here, Smokey Joe, that's a very good one. All right. Well, EQZ is a community coin, so I gotta kind of float around the idea, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But let me look at the chart. Okay. If my brain will allow itself to work here. Honestly, I would say, actually, I will give you the same answer I'd give you anyway, even if you were like, a VIP in a VIP call. I would buy this whenever I am confident Bitcoin puts in a higher low on the 4-hour chart. So no matter where this asset is at that time, I would literally look at the Bitcoin chart. I would formulate whether I have confidence in a 4-hour higher low or not. And then wherever this is, doesn't matter what price, I would simply just market buy it. Or to save a little bit of money, depending on the amount of cash you're throwing into it, I would put limit buys just under current price to pick it up immediately. So that's kind of like a pseudo market buy. It saves you a little money. So if you're somebody like me who is more of an aggressive trader, I market buy a lot, and I don't market sell a lot though. So I don't dump coins. I typically try to create liquidity up. So I would say way over 50% of all selling I do, even on futures, are limit sells. But my buys are technically market buys. I would say also 80%, but inverse. But the way I save money on that is you would look at the order book, and whatever the highest green number is, I would put my order there, or just one unit of measurement above, so I get filled hopefully immediately. Unless it's like flying up, then you kind of have to market buy. But that's how I would buy this. Yeah, because if you try picking a horizontal and Bitcoin really goes to 50K, right? Well, then it's going to break that horizontal. So instead of trying to catch a wick low on this, just wait till Bitcoin, bottoms out, and then you can buy there, right? Maybe even at the same point you're planning on buying anyway, without all this scare down, never seeing your account 15% down or whatever that would be, without ever seeing your account 25% down. So that would be my answer. And I say that a lot to my community members as well. Like, well, I honestly wouldn't even look at this chart to buy it. I would look at the Bitcoin chart. It's like Bitcoin, Ethereum are primary indicators for your altcoins. So that is probably when I'd buy it. But a lot of people like to scatter limit buys down here like this. And so wherever it hits, it hits. If it never hits these three, for example, they just cancel, then market buy on the way up. That's another strategy. So that at least a portion of your money got the low. Now, obviously not all of it, but like a small bit of it got the actual low. And then whatever doesn't fill, you cancel those and market buy when you see a higher low. So that would be another strategy without giving exact levels. Just scatter some limit buys down there, try to create a floor or add to the other people trying to create a floor. Yeah, something like that. All right. Did TradingView put Pirate Chain back on? Yes, it did. Does it have the price history? No, it doesn't. So this is another coin I covered with Harmony One, telling people this is going to consolidate for a long, long time, 100+ days. If you go to my very few Pirate Chain videos that I made with the thumbnails, I think I made 3 of them. I clearly said this is going to consolidate for over 100 days. I was very clear about it. 200 days. Here we are. I mean, my thoughts are kind of harsh on this one. It did a 630x, and the coin doesn't have pumponomics. It's privacy coins, monetary coins don't have pumponomics, and honestly, that's kind of why I like them. I like monetary coins. So I this is a monetary coin, a privacy coin, which privacy coins are monetary coins. There might be some shades of gray, like in that statement, but the idea that it was lucky enough to have some YouTuber to talk about it that caught steam, and then how YouTubers are is a lot of them try to amass a larger following by doing something which is called like trend, like hopping on the trend of what is being talked about. That crypto YouTuber may have never heard about it, but if you see BitBoy talk, well, I'm going to cover it too, right? Because it actually helps like get clicks. So I technically did the same damn thing, but I did it to warn people not to fucking buy it. If you watch my video, you should honestly go back to those videos. That's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to get people like, I said, yo, it's over this line. Like, it's going to go below this line, and it's got to take over 100 days. It's going to happen. And like, no. We're going to look back. Like, I got a lot of comments. I think it was at $7. Like a couple YouTube comments like, we're going to look back in 2 years and think $7 is so cheap. I'm like, no, you're not. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to give you the answer you're going to like. I think the bull run for Pirate Chain is over. I would say end of bull run, it does not hit all-time highs again because it was just lucky to get a crypto YouTuber. It doesn't have pumponomics. It won't be the flavor of the month again. It went 620x and it's done. That's my opinion. So, but yeah, so be careful with it. All right. I probably have about 10 more minutes, folks. Do you see 𝐼 hitting $200 this bull run? That's a specific question. Thank you for being specific. So it's got to get in that box by that time frame. So March to May, something like that. Absolutely. Easily. Yeah, it can easily get there. It's having a weekly squeeze. Man, it can go like 3 times past that. Yeah, like 2,000% runs, maybe not all at once, but sometimes even more than that all at once. Yeah, this is a weekly. So honestly, I might buy this shit too. It's on KuCoin. Hell yeah. That's one of the, this is honestly one of the, so like I said, weekly squeeze plays are my favorite types of buys. And so since it has technically done a legit squeeze, so it did not front run it to come back and test it. This is an actual squeeze play, and it's being affected by a Bitcoin dip right as it was getting ready to take out. So you're technically getting a retest. So once this comes up and Bitcoin is able to close daily candles over 65K within a few weeks, it's not going to come back down and test that. It is just going to take off with a high probability. All right. So for new people, just look at anything like hell, take veracity. So see those yellow lines, watch. Okay. See yellow and red getting ready to cross, but watch. Look at this. When did veracity pump? Oh yeah, right at that cross. Pretty crazy, huh? So this one looks like it front ran it, came down to test it, wick below, came up, and then did it. So this did a front run retest, I would assume. Yep, see that? Exactly. And I could just tell how this wiggled around. I could tell by how the EMAs moved. It was a front run retest squeeze play. So that's tied for the most common way it happens, but it's a squeeze play. So red, yellow cross, kablam. Look how big of a percentage it got, right? In one run. So can that coin do that? 6,000% run, which would put that other asset, whatever you asked me about it, like $600. Wait, yeah, it could easily hit that. Let's see here. So I can't even remember what coin I was talking about because I'm not familiar with it. Oh, Rye. Yeah, it can. Honestly, I think it's more than probable it hits that before the end of the bull run. That's a really good target, by the way. If it gets up there, it probably won't slow down to about 230 though. It could top out. Yeah, it'll wick up. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good target too. So wick up to 200 past the 618, or fly past a little bit up 250 to the 216. Because so a lot of people use fibs, and even though I don't care to use them because I can find the sell point using other methods, but I would never want to say somebody don't use fibs, because the entire point of picking when to sell is when other people are also seeing something independent of you, but at the same level. Well, that's probably where it's going to top out, when enough groups of people are seeing something similar at that same level for totally different reasons. So the fibs do work because a lot of people use them. So that honestly might be just enough. Like, honestly, logically, that might be enough reason where I maybe should start using them more, but I found that I typically don't even need to. I've never had problems selling close to the freaking top ever. Or actually, I don't even care about tops. Selling at points to where within a reasonable time frame, like 2 weeks, I can buy significantly lower. That's really all I care about. I honestly don't care about the wick highs. Now, catching wick highs is great, and sometimes it happens, but I don't focus on that. So yeah, that's honestly a pretty good target for, in the bull run, but I would say it's going to go significantly higher than that. Significantly, with the idea that the end of bull run is not this calendar year. Yeah, that's a kind of interested in. I'm on another screen. Let me and it's on KuCoin, which is good. Yeah, that's a small cap. It's not a micro cap, but it's a small cap. And that's not all the price history either. Interesting. So for you all, this is what that looks like. So all-time high is $100. Oh yeah, so it's got some of. So this chart came. So KuCoin started trading it right at its height. That's, oh gosh. But yeah, this is a great formation. That's honestly fantastic. So those are great suggestions, folks. Good job. All right. SXP. Tim, do block. Okay, block and SXP. Let me try this one real fast. I'm gonna do these faster because I do gotta go. So this one's really hot. So I would be interested in selling this. Definitely not interested in buying this. I would be taking profits on this. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would honestly. So if I wanted more of this, I would sell it because I know it's going to correct, consolidate, then maybe like in late January, maybe begin getting close to this all-time highs. In the meantime, I can find something like 𝐼, which has a weekly cross. I can buy it, get a 3x out of it, like potentially rather easily, sell that, then move it back into here with 3 times more tether, buying it at a like 20% discount. Or even if it's not 20% lower, it's at the same price because it's gone down, come back up. Who cares? I have 3 times the amount of money, only using the money I used to sell it. I mean, and so this is something I drill in my community members a lot. And I can say that because this is definitely not a community coin. So yeah, if you hold that, I would, not financial advice, Pokemon cards only, very clearly, I would get rid of. So I'm not saying 100 bag. I'm kind of against 100 bagging in bull markets. But I would get rid of 50% at least. Yeah, I would say about 50% of my Pokemon cards, my Darrow Pokemon cards, and then look to come buy back more. Try to find something with some type of, you know, pump like that looks like it's going to break above a big horizontal, something like that. Like PDEX might have a nice run, something to that effect, or 𝐼, for example. Yeah, I would say that there is an 80% chance or higher, for example, that if somebody sold their Darrow, bought 𝐼, waited till February, sold 𝐼, bought this back, with the portion that you sold, so the amount, so let's say you sold 100 Darrow at that point, I bet there's a like 80% chance you would increase this like with using the same amount of original tether, but then you increase it by, you know, catching up on 𝐼. I would bet you could get like 150 to maybe 130 to 150 of them. So that'd be a big 30% increase in your holdings using other people's money. So yeah, I would personally get the hell out of that one. But even if I liked it, I would do it because I want more. So I'm not saying it's saying that because it's bad. It's actually, you know, I like, for example, BPRO ran on a screamer. I wanted more BPRO. So what did I do? I sold BPRO because I wanted more of it. Right? So when I say I would sell it, I'm not saying, oh, that's a bad project, you should get out of it. No, maybe you want more. That's fine. But this is how you get more. You don't watch it freaking go down in price. Or just consolidate. Now, could it squeak out another couple all-time highs? Maybe. Yeah, it actually might give 1 or 2 small more pushes, but it's running out of steam. It looks like it's going to roll over. So even I would rather find something with the steam to do from here to here as opposed to something losing steam, right? Which 𝐼 is ready to do this. So that's my thoughts on that. All right. What did I say I was going to do? SXP. Yeah, I trade SXP on. I like this chart. I think that's one I'm trading on KuCoin futures. Yeah, I like this chart. It looks like an oscillation of a piano string. Right. So if you can measure the oscillations of how, you know, right when the hammer hits it inside the piano, when you hit the key, it's louder. So the oscillations are like this. And then as it gets quieter, it goes like this. Honestly, it looks like it's going to blast up. But what I would be focused on this, if you're asking me about this on futures, you need to draw the daily 200 in there, which I think I've done. So let me put the 200 back on. Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in longing this if it can get above, consolidate for a bit, and then look like it's heading up. That's about where I'd want to get in. I would want to see this because as of now, it is just using the 200, so the orange line. It's using it as a rejection point, right? And it could just keep making lower. It's possible. So a safer trade, for example, if you're trying to like 5x long this sum, is just wait for it to come above, wait for it to consolidate, try it, set stops just under, you know, far enough where a wick out can't get you, something like that within reasonable risk management. But in general terms, like spot trade stuff, I mean, I'm much more liberal and my risk tolerance to the downside is much higher. So personally, my personal style is not your personal style. I would personally feel comfortable market buying this if I wanted more of it. Like literally in this moment, I would be cool with that. Now, if I had $1,000 to spend on it, would I hit it with all $1,000 right now? No, I'd probably hit it with 300 or 400 of it and wait to see if Bitcoin keeps going down. If Bitcoin goes to 54K, I would throw another 300 at it, but I would hold the last 300 or so for if Bitcoin went to 50K, then I'd pull the trigger on the last $300. That's how I would do that. But with a significant portion of, let's say, my $1,000 that I want to spend on spot trade, not futures, with no leverage. So this strategy would be for no leverage. Leverage is a totally different game. It's a totally different style type of trading. But yeah, that's how I would do that. I really kind of like this chart. And instead of the red yellow squeeze, you're going to have a red orange squeeze, which honestly are pretty powerful. They're just as they can be just as powerful as the weekly squeeze. So with price getting stuck in here like this, it's obviously it's failing it right now with Bitcoin, but the typical squeeze cake, kablam, right? See how price got squeezed in there? It's ready to fly. This one's ready to go. Without Bitcoin's dip, this would have been a week or less away from really taking off. Really taking off. Maybe up to 2 weeks, but it's very, very, very ripe, and the move could be pretty massive. All right. Well, if I did not own this asset, I probably would not choose to get in it now. But if I held it, I probably would not be looking to sell right now, because it's done something impressive with Bitcoin's downturn. I think this has multiple, at least another large pump or 2 or 3 in it. So since it's been able to hold over its daily 10, as Bitcoin's doing insanely, they're not insanely, but moderately to moderately severe bearish stuff, this means that there are a lot of interested buyers. This is not done. Could this break down a little bit, come down to here, down to 28 cents? Sure. But when Bitcoin's done doing this shit, it's going to pop right back up and keep going. Like this honestly might only be a third of the way of its move. This looks really good. So typically but if I did not own this, I would not jump into it, because you're chasing green candles with a bullish consolidation, but I would prefer to buy something low on its chart that has a squeeze plate. Like, that's my style. So it depends on what you are with this, like how your portfolio is engaged with this coin. But if you already have it, I would not dump any of it. Honestly, this looks really strong. Yeah, you can just look at the chart and tell there are like whoever already owns this coin and likes it, they are buying more of it. Fairly aggressively. It can't even get below its daily 10. I'm honestly shocked right now. So whatever this is, it's got something going. It's kind of makes me curious here. What the hell this is? You don't see that very often during a Bitcoin dip. Stuff like consolidating bullishly on its daily 10 way up high and then sticking its landing, like saying, what correction? So yeah, it's got pumping on. It's got DeFi all over it. It splatters it on there, so new people to crypto would probably want to check this out. So yeah, I would not, if I held this, I would not get rid of it, like any of it actually. All right. Dude, Omi House, you don't have to super chat. Just freaking ask me during a live call, dude. Let me look at block, because I got to get off here soon. Let me look at block while I think about that. I think I might want to tell you that not on this call, to be honest with you. Oh, so what was it? KDA? KDA is going to do something like this. Remember that? So, and KDA went even farther above its trading channel. It did 2 pumps above, and now it's going to move sideways. It's going to follow the trading range. It's exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, this is ready to go. You have nice higher low structure. You've respected the daily 10 really nicely, which means it never got down to its weekly 10. I would assume it doesn't have a weekly 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's only 7 weeks old. Yeah, this is ready to continue up. This looks actually really good. This looks very ready. So this could easily break all-time highs in the month of November. Yeah, this is very. I honestly, is Bitcoin going back up or something? No, it's not. Wow. So this is also saying correct what correction? Damn. Yeah, that's it. So Block has a lot of interested buyers in it. Holy shit. Wow, that's honestly even slightly more impressive than the last one I said that about, because it's going up. It's not just consolidating bullishly, like it's going up during a correction. It's probably going to get rejected by this line, though. It might be able to re-enter this trading channel, maybe, but I would see this as it breaks that. If it does it this month, about 42 cents will be as high as it goes. That would be my guess. It could wick to the next one. It could go to 68 cents this month. Like that'd be a massive pop, but this looks really ready to go. So those would be super bullish targets. We'll get all the way up to that bottom trend line. Probably not, but if it does get really hot, 42 cents would be a definite area of interest to be on, like, hey, take profits alert, with the idea that, you know, it could hit in the 50s to 60s. It could hit one of these bottom two. But to get to the top of the trading range, that's out of play the rest of its life. It's never going to hit that again. I would assume. Yeah, I think that's out of play. Kind of like BPRO's, you know, really aggressive line. It became out of play afterward and no one believed me, right? Well, obviously it's just very easy to tell, because if you extended a year and a half, so if I extended this line a year and a half, right? Okay. And Omi, I am still thinking about that answer. I don't know if I want to answer it on this call though. Omi House, he accepted his name. That's hilarious. I gave one of my VIPs a name, and I think he caught his name in reviewing the recording of the live chat. And came on the next one and say, hey, it's Omi House. Because I was calling him that after he left. So look, here's why this line's out of play. Just extend it a year and a half. Or actually, not even. Wait, March? No, just to March 2022. Okay. Do you think in March that this asset will be worth $38,000? Yes or no? Obviously not. So therefore, this is an impossible line. It is done. It won't be hit again. And in the near future, not even this bottom line will ever be hit again. Right? Which is why I'm saying if it hits that line, freaking sell, right? Like your Pokemon cards, not financial advice. Because if it hit that line in just this next March, it would be $14,000. And that's not going to happen. So if it hits that bottom line, that's a good time to sell. Is it the perfect time to sell? Well, I mean, it could be. It's got a good statistical chance, but that's why these lines I already know are out of play. And that's how I knew BPRO's line, where when I said, hey, it's over 3.8 cents, that is I think in that video with the fireball back there it was a March 16th video, if anybody wanted to look at it. And I know a lot of people are going back and looking at it. So go back to my videos, look in mid-March, March 16th. It's the one with the fireball. Go to minute 36. And I say very clearly in here, for the same reason, I say selling right now is a winning strategy. And then 15 seconds later, I said, BPRO, the third most likely thing is that it crashes back down to a penny. And that's exactly what happened even before Wyckoff. And then Wyckoff happened and went lower, right? Which it would never have done that had Wyckoff not happened. And I could not anticipate that. So yeah, that's an impossible line. So yeah, I would honestly use this bottom trend line for my sell point. And then after it hits that, it might do a double tap, but once it starts consolidating again, it'll never hit that again ever. So could it hit it 2 more times? Yeah, but it would be more like a double tap. So it won't come up to that line, consolidate, and ever hit it again. It won't happen. I'm telling you, it won't happen. could there be an exception where it hits it and then there truly is a parabolic run at the end of December where Bitcoin goes up to 200K? Oh, okay, then it might hit the top line if that happens, but then it will never hit it again, right? So there could be weird exceptions to that, but it's outside of the realm of probabilities, right? Omi, I don't want to answer that question on this call. Because, you know, folks, obviously, you know, if I were listening to it, where I would put my money, I would front run it, try to market buy it immediately. You're going to get a worse price and then it could dump. Right. So I don't think I can answer that. So I will probably, I can't remember your screen name, but I kind of want to put some thought into that. And you can jump on the next call. Or if you're not on Friday's VIP call, I'll just address it. And then in the recording, when I post it, in the subject line, I'll say, hey, Omi House, his question answered or something like that. I think that's how I want to do that. All right. I'll do these last two and then I got to go. I don't want to piss off my wife. I didn't even plan this live call. I just said, screw it. Bitcoin's dumping. Let's do a live call. All right. Here, which one has more? ERN. Okay, yeah, it's better. It's a good chart. It's either a coin. This looks like it has a market cap of around $1 billion. I would say over 500 million. It's moving like a very large cap. And if it's not, then that means it doesn't have pumponomics. So ERN. But if it is over 500,000, then this is really, really healthy. It's a good chart. So it's only 166. Oh, that could actually take off. Licensed NFT? I'm surprised it hasn't gotten hotter than that. So this might be the first time in a long time where me personally, because I'm not a fundamental person, but I think fundamentals could trump charting on this coin. That definitely has pumponomics. And although this coin doesn't have a life history since June of volatility, I think this has a strong chance of gaining a lot more volatility than it's experienced. So, but typically I would say that's not the case. So if you're moving like this and you're not doing runs, you're doing runs in the low hundreds percentage, right? Before a large correction, that's how big caps move. And if you're a small cap that moves like that, that just means you don't have the hype. And you're never going to do a nasty run ever, right? But I think this one has a strong chance of being an exception to that rule. I personally don't get into coins already over 100 million cap, but this end of bull run, assuming it goes past the end of the year, this could easily 20x. It definitely has in it the works to do that, and that's only like 2.8 billion market cap. In a parabolic move, should that happen at the end of a bull run, or let's say mid next year or early next year or whatever, yeah, this could 10 to 20x in the process. So this is a good mid cap to have for sure. It's very healthy. It looks like it's at a good point to buy. So if you're not in it, this is at a good point to buy, in my opinion. For this Pokemon card, right? Yeah, it's at the bottom origin line. Like, this is honestly the type of stuff I like to buy. How many higher lows does it have? 1, 2. Yeah, it's working on its third higher low. Bottom of its, master trend line. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, so if I were wanting to add in my portfolio, add a little bit of mid-cap strategy, this would be a very top contender because it's got pumponomics. It hasn't flown yet. It clearly hasn't been hyped to a successful degree yet. A large YouTuber hasn't talked about it. However, it has a strong chance of happening because it's kind of cool positioning within. It's the first authenticated and licensed NFT platform. I don't know how true that is, but it's great marketing. That's all that matters. So this has a strong chance of becoming like it has a good chance of becoming not necessarily a YouTube favorite, but covered on YouTube, and a very extremely strong chance of new retail people buying it. So for sure, this is honestly a very good small mid cap pick. You know, in MTV is a small mid cap, Veracity is small mid cap. This would definitely be a top contender within my selection process. Should I, in the near future, be looking to add a small mid cap around 100 million? So yeah, very good choice there. And you know, and you didn't tell me your context if you own this or not, but if I own this, I absolutely would not be looking to sell at this point. And if I did not own this, I would be looking to purchase now. And I would feel totally comfortable on a personal basis. I'm not telling you to market buy it, but my trading style is aggressive. I would feel totally comfortable market buying. Honestly, I would do, if I had $1,000, I'd probably hit it with more than 50%. I personally would probably hit it with like 600 to 7. I would probably hit it with 60% of my available funds that I allocated that I want to put into this coin, right? Yeah, I would hit it like a 60-40 ratio. So 40% saving for if Bitcoin dives, so therefore it wicks below here, like say 40% for that wick is what I'm saying. But yeah, very good chart. That's a good choice. That's a very good small mid cap. Like excellent. I'm really surprised. FTM's been hot. FTM's been real hot, but sometimes the strong stay strong. So I don't want to okay, so people not in the community, look at this. Watch. Watch this. I gave a long alert at the end of this candle. Zoom out. Ta-da! That was among the best alerts. It's probably maybe like the second or third best that I've given in recent history. Yeah, that was a really good one. And for folks not in the community, if you wanted to take a quick moment to see like what I'll actually show you here real quick, because it was a really good one. But I will be honest, the very last alert that I gave to hedge longs, I gave a hedge long, like a short white. My last one was actually my last alert that I've given, I think yesterday late. It was probably among my worst. So not all my calls are that good. I want to be very honest. I'm not just here float. So I know a lot of YouTubers, they only talk about the things they do right. And I definitely, you know, I might come across as one of those people because sometimes I advertise the things I do right more, right? But when I make a mistake, I definitely let my community know about it, like very in depth. Like, here's what I was thinking. Here's why it was wrong. Here's what I learned from it. Don't make this mistake like me. Learn from it, all that stuff, right? So I am trying to find what October. Holy shit, I give a lot of alerts. Okay, a lot of scrolling. Hold on. Holy damn. Gosh, VIPs, this is almost making me want to charge you more. I give a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Where is it? Trade alert, Shiba, Phantom. Okay, so follow up Luna. Oh, don't tell me it was a video. Height stops, trade setup, FTM trade, link. Oh, it was a video, I think. Luna sell orders. Luna trade alert, ship the 16th. FTM follow up. Oh, it was the 15th. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, it was a freaking video. Gosh darn, I'm not going to play the whole video, but anyway, I made a video for my VIP. So I labeled VIP's only trade setup, and try hitting Luna, then FDM back to back on longs. So I gave the alert, hey, when Phantom does this, like you would want to go in. And actually FDM took off before Luna, right? So I was planning on entering both, taking profits on Luna quickly, then hopefully adding those profits into Phantom before it took off. But the folks who follow this, we entered both. Phantom took off first. So then technically you could have just done the inverse, but I thought Luna was going to take off earlier. So I explain exactly what I'm thinking, why the whole trade setup within there. Hey, VIPs only, here is a lever. I don't think you can hear me though, but I go through this. So it's a 2-minute video on everything why. So I was kind of hoping to have a pictorial example, but whatever, it was a video of it. So Phantom now, it's been hot. I mean, I would not be looking to enter. That would, well, I guess it did take a pretty big dive. That's a really good dive. Honestly, maybe I would. Wow. And it came to a perfect level too. Holy shit. Yeah. It has a strong chance of bouncing here because it's the previous. So if you can view it structurally, you have a market structure, a pump, right? So pump and market structure, prior market structure. So if a pump starts correcting, whether it's Bitcoin initiated or not, or if it's initiated by itself and then exacerbated, which means for non-native English speakers, it means makes worse. If it's made worse during an already correction by Bitcoin correcting after it started, so a lot of times you hit the middle or bottom of that previous structure if Bitcoin's activated. So that would be a pretty big dive down. It might have, so be careful. Like I would not try to catch this. I would not try to catch this knife because it is absolutely a threat of having about a 65% correction. Now, since it's kind of the love child of YouTube and crypto, well, actually, no, that'd be my exact target. So 1,000% run needs about a 65% correction. The rule is if Bitcoin corrects as your coin's already correcting, it's probably going to hit the bottom structure, which that happens to align with my base rule of 65. But then you have to calibrate in. This is kind of the love child of YouTube. It's got really good, everybody loves this coin, thank God. Like I hope that the Phantom replaces Cardano. For everybody loves Cardano. I really hope something legit like Phantom could take its place. So I like this coin. I think Phantom earned its place as a top crypto. There aren't a lot of cryptos that can say that. I mean, even though I love Polkadot, Polkadot based off of the founder of it coming from it was Ethereum, right? It kind of earned its name, but even before it had something, it was number 9 crypto without technically earning its name. It was anticipation because the founder is a badass and it had high hopes, right? And it has lived that up. So there are some shades of gray in that, but most coins in the top 25 list haven't really earned their place. So I really hope Phantom keeps doing well. I want to preface that. So given that this is kind of the love child of one of the love childs of crypto, bake that in. It needs to come down to here, but bake in love child effect. I would say it might only get a 50% credit. Yeah, so that's an original. So I think it's going to hit right here. So I would say low end $1.50, high end $1.71, but it's probably going to hit the box. There you go. All right. Yeah, so I would, so especially not on leverage, I would not try catching a knife on leverage on this. This is is it probable? I might not go as far as say it's over 50% chance, but I think it's by far the most likely scenario that it at least hits it. So maybe 35, 40% chance, maybe slightly higher, maybe even as close to 50. It might be probable. Even if Bitcoin, doesn't go any lower than what it's gone, I think it's still probable it hits that. After 1,100% run, the market structure here, that's still just hitting the top of this market structure. So Yeah, I would. Yeah, that'd be my range. 170 down to 150. $1.50 to $1.70 is where it's at least going to hit there, very likely. All right. Actually, I'll keep my box there just for funsies. Right there. All right, cool. Hey, everybody, I do got to go. My wife's coming here a couple times. She didn't look the most excited. So I got to hang this up, and I might do 2 streams on YouTube a month, something like that. I might start making them at a regular time. I just kind of randomly did this. I don't know. I just don't know how to fit that in my schedule. But I know regularity's, the thing that's good. So I might make this more regular for all my freeloaders on YouTube, but I was also a freeloader too. I never joined a community, not once. So I totally get it. It's not a big deal, but yeah, I would like to do more of these. So just in terms of expectations, I might do a few more throughout the bull run, maybe at the frequency of twice a month, and we'll see you later.